Hi, this is Astoria, one of the Drew team in Australia, and I'm here sitting in my back garden on a sunny but rather cool autumn day. And I've been reflecting about the massive amounts of change that we've all had to cope with on a global scale. There are friends of mine in the UK I know that have been in lockdown for so many months, and it's hard for me to even conceive the amount of challenges that they've had to go through during that time. I've also got friends here in Australia that have gone through some major confrontational events in their lives, from fires to floods to deaths of loved ones, on a more personal level. There's been so many other things also happen politically, environmentally. It's like we've been given this huge wake-up call, this time where we've been totally thrown off our game and what we normally do, where we have the opportunity to reset our lives and look at the type of world we really want to live in. And I've been thinking about how we cope, or how we can cope with those massive changes. And one of the things that has been the most potent tools for me has been, and also something that's really dear to my heart, has been the teachings of the text, the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita can be seen as a yogic text, it can be seen as a scripture, but really what it is a manual to help us deal with these profound changes that have been happening in our world. So the way that it's helped me personally is that instead of getting too negative about things at certain times, I have turned to the Bhagavad Gita and read it to help my mind spiral upwards instead of spiral downwards. And it's interesting because the very setting of the Bhagavad Gita gives us really huge clues to how it can help us. So the Gita is actually a dialogue between a student and a teacher on a plain called Kurukshetra in India. And the dialogue happens in the middle of a battlefield on Kurukshetra. And the student or the warrior named Arjuna asks his teacher to take him to the center of the battlefield so he can see the opponents that he needs to fight. And when Arjuna does see the opposing forces, he basically drops his bow and wants to give up. He wants to leave. He does not want to fight the good fight. And the reason is because some of the people on the other side of the battlefield are actually his relatives and even some of his friends. Now, as seekers on a spiritual path, we're likely to say, well, I don't really want to have anything to do with a book that is to do with war. But this battle is an allegory for our lives and how we cope with challenging situations in our lives. And the one side of the army that Arjuna belongs to are the Pandavas, and they actually represent all our positive and strong qualities that we have: our strength, our courage, our wisdom, our selflessness. And the other side of the army actually represent the negative qualities inside of us: our selfishness, our fears, our doubts, our jealousies. So the Gita is an allegory for the not only the external situations that happen in our lives and the conflicts that we may face or the challenges, but it is an allegory for what is happening inside our mind, because it's our mind that interprets our world, and it's in our mind that we have the negative thoughts and we have the positive thoughts. And that is, literally the positive and the negative thoughts go to war in our minds every day, anytime we have any kind of turmoil or conflict, and who's going to win. And so the Gita is teachings where the Arjuna has asked his teacher to take him to the center of the battlefield and asked him to basically teach him what to do. Because Arjuna has looked at the opposing side, has looked at all the shadow side of himself, those negative tendencies, and has thought, I cannot do this. And he drops his bow, his main weapon as a warrior, and basically he wants to leave the fight. Now, we've all been in that situation where something has gotten so big for us that actually we just want to run away. We don't want to have to face what it is that we have to face. We don't want to have to do what it is that we, have to do. Yet, there's something inside of us that knows that we should do our duty. We should continue on. Now, one of my teachers said, and his name's Mansuk, some of you will have heard of him, he said recently that the reason that Arjuna drops his bow is because his purpose in life, his intention, in yogic terms you can also call it your sankalpa, your main reason for being, for him, was not strong enough. And so when things got really, really tough, even though he was a formidable warrior of great strength and wisdom, when he was, things were really at the crunch and things had really got bad, he actually wanted to run away. And as I said, we've all got to that point before. But the key is, if we have a strong enough resolve, if we have a strong enough purpose, a strong enough an intention for why we're here on this planet, it could be because you want to be the best mother to your children. It could be because you want to be an amazing yoga teacher that transforms the world by helping people to transform themselves through yoga. It could be because you want to bring light and enlightenment to people's minds, or be a healer, or whatever it may be. There are a myriad of reasons why we're all put on this beautiful planet. So I'm suggesting to you to tap into that central purpose for why you are here, to tap into the intention for how you are going to lift your life and move forward. Because when you have that intention, when you have a sankalpa and it's strong enough, when you are hit with those times where, and sometimes it's thing after thing after thing, instead of them, suppressing us and us running away from what we can and should do in life, we've got a lifeline to help pull us through the really tough times. And those sankalpas and purposes aren't just for even the tough times, they're to help us basically create the life that we want to. It's not always about things being difficult. I know for me, my life completely changed with COVID. I was living half the time in Australia, half the time in the UK. And I'd come back to help with running a course. I was just about to go back to the UK. The borders went down internationally, and all of a sudden I couldn't go anywhere. And I wasn't able to replicate, some of the conditions that I had while I was over there, even though where I am right here in Australia is an amazing place to be. My mum passed away, I had 2 operations, and kind of a whole list of things unfolded over the last year and a half that have been rather challenging. But as I reflect back now and I think about the support of the team around me and the massive things that I've gone through with my mum passing and with chronic pain and just the myriad of things that I've gone through, what has helped to pull me through is having that intention to live a life that is of such a high purpose that I take myself to as much of an enlightened place as I can and take others with me as well. And I know that by reading the Gita, it has helped me time and time again to lift my mind when it's slipped, and it has slipped. There are times when I've been depressed, there are times when I've been anxious, and yet I know that isn't who I'm meant to be. I know I'm not my thoughts. I know I'm not the pain in my body. I know I'm not anxiousness. So turning to the Gita has helped me to lift my mind and lift my consciousness. So I'm really keen to share some other tips and I guess experiences that I've had with the Bhagavad Gita. And so that's what I hope to do in a few of the videos over the next few weeks, and we'll just see whether it becomes an ongoing thing. So thank you for listening. I hope this has inspired your own Gita journey, and perhaps it may inspire you to get out your Bhagavad Gita if you have got one and start reading it. And I hope to catch up with you again soon with, as I said, some more reflections on the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita.